to Beacons in the 505, presented by Beacon Marketing. I'm Roger Gallegos, founder and owner of Beacon Marketing. I am here today with Tyler and Victoria Garret from Anytime Fitness in Los Lunas, New Mexico. Before we get to them, I want to say thank you for being with us today during this video and explain to remind you what these videos are for. We are here to highlight local businesses in Albuquerque and throughout central New Mexico. I hope to one day get throughout New Mexico, but for now, during the pandemic, kind of cloistered into our little bubbles here. So we'll eventually get out there. But I want to make sure we highlight and, pun intended, shine a beacon on local businesses for our audience to see what people are doing out there and seeing how our local business community is thriving, because we believe it is an essential part of strong, small, medium-sized business community is an essential part of any successful town, city, state, whatever you want to call it. We need it. It needs to be strong. It needs to be vibrant. It offers diversity, jobs, a different flavor. So not everything's a Starbucks or a McDonald's or a Walmart. So now that I have gotten off my soapbox, Tyler, Victoria, thank you for joining me today. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty all right. It's a good Monday.
That's good. It's Monday. It's towards the end of the day, so I think everybody's kind of like, oh, half zombie, but it's good. Good day nonetheless. So we get nice weather out. So once again, thank you for being here today. As I said, you guys are owners of the Anytime Fitness in Los Lunas. For people who may not be familiar with Anytime Fitness, why don't you share a little bit about Anytime Fitness and your guys' specific role in the business?
Okay. So Anytime Fitness is one of the largest co-ed facility. Well, no, it is the largest co-ed facility in the world. We have gyms on every continent, including Antarctica, which is open 6 months out of the year on a boat. I don't know if you want to go down there, but it exists. So anywhere you are, we will be there. And by being a member at one of our facilities, you're a member at all of them. You have 24/7, 365 access. They all have free weights and cardio machines, strength machines, private showers, bathrooms, all those kinds of things. And so we chose to buy into the franchise and bring something local to the town where my wife's family's from, in Los Lunas. And what we try to bring that's a little bit different at our particular gym from the rest of them is everything that you might need for your health and wellness journey. So we have things included with the base membership, such as live classes from certified instructors and trainers. We have virtual classes as well at this point from our same certified instructors and trainers. We have virtual classes inside of the studio in a private room. We have on-site massage therapists and a large personal training program, body scanner to see all the different things that you need within your body, as well as creating a macronutrient profile. And we also have a gym concierge, which is something that we tried to institute where we're checking on the well-being of our members, especially those that we haven't seen in a while, because we don't want you to just buy a membership and then never show up. We want to be a part of that journey and help you keep going in that journey. So if we haven't seen you, you're going to get a phone call.
That's absolutely amazing. I love that idea, that gym concierge. And then going back for a second to the idea that you guys have a gym pretty much in every continent, that would kind of literally be a strange flex to say that you've been to an Anytime Fitness on every continent that there is one, including Antarctica.
Yes.
So that might be, if you're a gym buff, that might be a weird flex or a weird bucket list item. So you guys, really big into fitness. How did you guys get into it? And was that part of where you guys connected as a couple in your journey together? Not to get too personal, but was that like a point of connection for you guys, or did you just guys fall into it?
Can I answer?
Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
Just checking. So it's not how we connected, but it's something that we found along our path getting to marriage. It was one of the things that I wanted to make sure we had intact. So our own health, and then also our spiritual well-being and all those other things. But so she had her own fitness journey, which was separate from mine. And we were trying all the different fads and things like the keto diet. And of course they would affect us differently, but nothing ever really worked for us. Not that they don't work. I'm just saying they never worked for us. And so it wasn't until she had the idea for us to get into bodybuilding competitions. And so what I tell everybody is there is nothing more motivating than getting on a stage with a bunch of lights, half naked in front of a bunch of strangers that'll get you to whip yourself into shape.
That'll have you second thinking that donut. Like,
yes.
Oh,
yes.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. I was real good for like 6 months. And so through that journey, we found that in order to get yourself looking the way you want to look, feeling the way you want to feel, it's literally just the food that you put in your body. And we learn like how to incorporate those things, how to incorporate exercise and all those kinds of things. And so from there, I wanted to share my knowledge with the world. She wanted to share the knowledge with the world. We started giving our friends and family meal plans and things like that. Nobody ever followed them extensively, but it felt good to me to be able to help somebody else to change their health and their aesthetics and all those kinds of things. And so at the time, well, even currently, I'm an engineer at the labs. She's a nurse at Presbyterian. And so we didn't want to quit our day jobs to be personal trainers. And so we figured the best way that we can do this is to open up a gym, hire the experts that are personal trainers and whatnot, and then try to use this as a vehicle to deliver all that information to the community.
I love that mentality. That speaks to a real passion that you guys have, because you guys have your jobs, but then you have this other thing that really helps bring you guys together in a different way. So what have you guys seen as one of the biggest challenges? I see that you guys opened your door in April 2019. Now, excluding the pandemic, because I think everybody would say that's the biggest challenge. But aside from that, or before that, what was the biggest challenge of getting everything organized and working together in terms of getting the gym off the ground?
So let's see, we've had a lot of hurdles throughout this process. The first one being just finding the funds in order to even get a bank to give us money. So you got to have money to make money, apparently. So we were like scrounging to put together every dollar we had just so the bank can give us more money, even though we're like, in order to have money, we have to have money. So it's like a chicken and egg thing. Anyways, so after we got through that hurdle, the next hurdle was government shutdowns. And so that prevented us from getting our loans. And then after that hurdle, it was dealing with construction. And so then I was telling her, you know, once we get open, that's all we got to do is just get open and everything's going to be easy. And so then we opened, and then the pandemic hit right before our 1 year anniversary. So there's just, every time we just get a little bit, there's always one more hurdle. But I will say that, so we're Christians by faith, and we feel like God has put us through these things in order to challenge us. But we know that he'll see us through it. And so we're just trying to get through each storm one at a time, learning things as we go. And I want to add that another hurdle has been like trying to make sure we have all the processes and protocols for our staff, because we can't always be there. And so we have to hire people to basically be our faces and know exactly what to do, even when they can't get in contact with us. So trying to make sure that they were set up for success and that we get the right people and they know exactly what to do. That's been a huge hurdle.
That's amazing. Like, I love the way you say about challenges. Whenever you get through one challenge, there's another one. It's almost like a never-ending video game when you say there's another one. I tell my wife one day, and I want to get to the working as spouses here in a second, but my wife and I, we were talking about that very thing not too long ago. Like, every time we think we cleared one thing, there's another thing. Mm-hmm. And I just said, well, you got to love the hurt. I mean, that's the only way to describe being an entrepreneur and being in business. You got to kind of, it's like working out. You got to love the hurt. Yep. You guys might laugh at this, because one time she said, just out of, Tyler, do you ever get tired of doing this? Do you want to just go get a job and, have set hours and have a set paycheck and, and not be able to relax? And I said, and I told her, I said, well, what would I worry about in my free time if I didn't have the business? Because it's almost like I'm almost afraid to do that, because if you didn't have the business, I'm like, what would I think about? What would I be worried about? What would I jot down in my notebook that I carry around everywhere? Like I would just, it's almost like you end up loving it too much. So it's good to see that you guys have that challenge, that you guys use your faith to get past that challenge. Now, on the subject of working together as spouses, my wife and I, we work on this business together. Yeah. And during the pandemic, it's been interesting, to say the least, at times. So, what is something that you guys have seen that has either challenged you? Well, let's do both: challenged you and brought you together as working as spouses in your business.
Well,
I saw good on Tyler. I saw him look at you first, like you got this first, right, babe?
I think some of our challenges is just being able to have an idea and kind of just fully present that idea and be able to explore it. I think that's the best thing. So we have two total different mindsets. You know, he's an engineer. He thinks very like black and white. And then I'm a nurse. And so the whole medical field is gray. You know, people don't come in looking like the textbook says. So I'm used to all gray every day. And so being able to just come together, listen to each other's ideas, and then explore it and try and figure out, well, what can we use from this? So being able to explore those ideas and then to pull out the strong suits in it and be able to really take those what was important in there and then have that grow. So that's been a challenge, because with the shutdown we had to think outside of the box and bring those ideas and start thinking, well, you know, if we can't operate like we used to, what can we do now? And so being able to have those long, grueling hours of just throwing everything on the table and trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not, and kind of where we're willing to put our risk at. And so that's been a challenge, but also it's been one that's helped us grow.
So, that's great. Anything to add, Tyler, your part?
Yeah. I was going to add that one of the biggest hurdles that I've noticed with, well, being together more and being able to work on these things more is that since we're thinking about it all the time, sometimes we'll each have conversations in our head and then bring these ideas to the other person, not realizing, oh, wait, you weren't there for that conversation. That was just me and me. And so although that's been a hurdle, it's also been something that helped us grow together because we've learned to better communicate. So now we communicate with each other differently so that we can make sure that we can keep going along that line of, all right, I didn't tell you this yet, but this is what I was thinking. This is why I was thinking that. Okay, now you're ready for me to actually talk to you.
Yeah, I love that because my wife and I, the communication has really been key for us. We really had to work on it, you know, and I'm sort of like the one. I grew up Hispanic here in New Mexico. And growing up, I was always taught, like, keep it to yourself, just work through it. You're fine. Just, you know, rub some dirt on it. Keep moving. And so I'm not one to share when I'm anxious or not. My wife's the opposite way. And so when she gets anxious, she shares. So we've had to really work on our communication. And, you know, she likes having the plan laid out and knowing all the answers. Me, I'm a little bit more of, you know, we'll MacGyver it on the way if we need to. So it's like, you know, because I'm just like, I don't know. I have, you know, it's like I have this rational confidence that things will work out. I don't know how. Yeah. I just feel that they will, you know, until, you know, sometimes it gets to the wire, but, you know, you just make it, you fake it till you make it. But switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about the pandemic now. Like, how are you guys serving your community and your audience now during this pandemic?
So within the facility itself, our first priority is our members, of course, because we want to make sure that they're safe while being in the facility. And so we've instituted new equipment and new procedures and protocols for that. So for instance, the main thing that we installed was our air scrubbers or air sanitizers, where we have machines that are continuously actually sanitizing the air, not filtering, but sanitizing the air to rid it of all those pathogens and bacteria and viruses and things like that. And then we've always been using like an electrostatic spray gun to disinfect all surfaces. And so we've just increased the frequency of that usage, as well as increased our cleaning frequency, and then instituting the temperature checks and what do you call it? We have some at-risk hours where, you know, there's lower number of people in the gym. But the main thing that we're still trying to get going is our people counter, because then you can see real time how many people are in the facility versus how much space do we have left to make sure that everybody can social distance. And then since I'm an engineer, I love engineering controls where instead of telling people to stay 6 feet apart, they have no choice but to stay 6 feet apart by separating equipment and removing shared equipment and stuff like that. So those are some of the things that we've been doing on the inside of the facility to also better help our members. We have, if they come to us about being impacted by COVID, then we've instituted new policies to address that, because we want to help people to, if they need a break or something like that, and they want to come back to the gym later because they lost a job temporarily or something like that. We have methods to accommodate them and whatnot. And then we've always been looking for ways to like donate back to the community in different ways, especially with, so our members, we have it's called a CEF, community enhancement fee is what we call it. And so that's something that the members pay annually, and we try to use that to do something good in the community as a way of the gym, as us as a family, the members and us, because we're all one family. How are we going to give back to the community in this particular instance?
That's great. One of the things that I do want to touch on is with everybody being home now and using just about everything on Zoom, like we're at here, I know me, I've been kind of quote unquote chained to my desk more often. What are some things that you could recommend to people, especially you, Victoria, being a nurse, to remember to stay active? Because sometimes I'll work and I'll sit down on my desk at 6:30 in the morning, and before I know it, it's already 1 o'clock, and I've not done anything. I've got since I stand up and every bone in my body creaks. A little sign of my age here, but we won't go into that right now. But what are some things that you could invite people to help stay healthy while you're constantly working at home, or might constantly being tempted to sit at your desk all day?
Definitely. I think one of the main things to do is to start your day off by preparing your water bottle or having that hydration ready. So don't go to your desk first. Go grab that water and have it ready for you, and bring it to your desk so that way you're hydrating while you're working. That's going to be important.
Hey.
Yay! So definitely trying to get that water in, because it's easy to get lost into work. And so you want to stay hydrated, but also it's really important to take that, if you can, that 20-minute break. And if you can just go outside for those 20 minutes, walk around your backyard or take that little stretch down the street, because 1, you're getting up and moving, and 2, you're getting some fresh air. And being inside with no sun for so long, it increases that depressed feeling. And so to be able to go out and take that moment for yourself is just as crucial as getting your work done.
Yep. Yeah, one of the things I've been doing is my daughter, who's 3 years old, I take her for drives around the neighborhood, and we go for like 5 miles an hour, and she sits in the front seat, and she just kind of sticks her head a little out the window. So I do that to kind of get out, and even though I'm sitting, I stretch before I go out. So I do 5 little things to get out, away from my desk and outside the house. But sometimes even if I know I don't need to be with my laptop, I'll take my notebook and my pen and go outside and jot down ideas or stuff like that. So things like that are good. Well, one last thing that I want to ask, and I know you guys got to get going, I value your time. If you guys could go back and have a time machine and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
How far back are we going?
Yeah, I got a lot.
As far back as you want to go. Let's keep within the business here.
Okay, business.
Prom 1998. I don't want to go that far, but
I would have. Let's see. I would tell my previous self, 1, just keep going. It's gonna be okay. There's going to be more stuff, but keep going. And then also, start thinking outside of the box. Start thinking about virtual. Because even if the pandemic wouldn't have hit, having more virtual options previously would have been great for some of our members, because driving to the gym is a struggle in itself. Just getting there. Once you get there, it's actually really easy, but getting there is a hard part. And so if there's something that you can do at home, that's one less excuse for not doing some type of exercise. So providing more virtual guidance, I would have suggested to myself earlier on.
That's great. So, well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, sharing your story. I really enjoyed it. I could keep you guys here for a while longer, but I don't want to keep you too long because I know you guys are busy and I appreciate your time. Before I do let you go, can you let people know how they can find out more about you guys, about your gym, and how they can contact you?
Definitely. So we have a website, anytimefitness.com, and you can just put in your zip code to find our local gym, along with all of our amenities and gym calendar and stuff like that. We're also on Facebook at Anytime Los Lunas. We're also on Instagram at AF Los Lunas. And then other than that, you can call the gym at 505-375-2400. You'll probably get to talk to my mother-in-law, aka my assistant manager, aka my everything, Ana Maria. We endearingly
I talked to her
call
last week. She was really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can also email us at loslunasnm@anytimefitness.com.
And I will put all this contact information in the description below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see all the contact details and all that fun stuff. So Tyler, Victoria, thank you so much one more time. Audience, thank you so much for tuning in, and talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.